here so that we could win it right here in Maracana. For all of us, let us step into the field with confidence, with cool heads, and let's bring the trophy home. You all remember what happened that night in Rio Janeiro? Di Maria scored that unforgettable goal, and Argentina secured its 15th continental trophy. It was a dream come true for me. A taste of success at the international level. Since then, my journey had taken me to PSG, where I have I had the privilege to continue playing this beautiful game. I have added a French league title to my first achievement, to my list of achievements, and there is no prize that still eludes, and there is still one prize that still eludes me, the World Cup, but it does not elude me anymore. As we prepare for this incredible opportunity, I can't help to think about the immense pride and honor that representing Argentina brings. This World Cup is not just a tournament, it's a chance for all of us to make history and to teach our names in the annals of football greatness. And should we reach the finals on December 18th, I promise you I will stand before you once again, ready to deliver a speech that will reflect the depth of my passion for this sport and my love for this incredible team. Thank you, my friends, for your unwavering support. Let's continue this journey together. With the same spirit and determination that led us to glory in Copa Americas, vamos, Argentina. The speech was before the World Cup, and I know you probably had a different one after the World Cup. Lionel Messi's speech ahead of the Argentina's World Cup victory offers several valuable lessons for individuals and teams. Resilience and dedication. The speech underscores the importance of unwavering commitment to a goal. He mentions the sacrifice made by the team, highlighting Emilio Martinez's absence for the birth of his child. This emphasized that achieving something extraordinary often requires personal sacrifices and unwavering dedication. You have to make sacrifices to achieve some things. Teamwork and unity. Messi repeatedly spoke of the strength of the group, defining his teammate as spectacular and beautiful group. This word reminds us of the significance of teamwork and unity in achieving shared objectives. Leadership. Messi's role as a captain is evident in his speech. His words inspire, motivate his team, instilling confidence and determination. This demonstrates the pivotal role of leadership in guiding a team towards success. Gratitude. Messi expresses deep gratitude to his teammates and everyone who supported Argentina throughout their Copa America journey. This teaches us the importance of recognizing and appreciating the effort of those who contributed to our success. Belief and positivity. He believed in destiny, mentioning that the tournament had to be played in Argentina because God brought it here. Convey the power of positive thinking and self-belief in overcoming challenges. Setting clear objectives. Messi emphasizes the team's clear objective to win the tournament. This underscores the importance of setting specific and achievable goals to drive motivation and focus. Emotional connection. Messi's emotional welfare to his club and his compassion for representing Argentina shows the significance of having a strong emotional connection to one's pursuit. This emotional connection can fuel determination and drive during difficult times. The Messi's impassioned speech ahead of the World Cup carries a timeless message that resonates in the modern era. In light of this, the call of action from his work can be adapted to inspire individuals and teams of various contemporary contexts. Embrace Messi's legacy of excellence. Set clear goals. Set clear goals for yourself. You are getting call of action from this speech. Define your objective, both personal and professional, with clarity and determination. Understand that success often requires sacrifice and unwavering commitment. So set clear goals. Let your goals be clear. Write them out. Foster teamwork. Emulate the spirit and unity that Messi spoke of in a world increasingly interconnected. Collaborative effort are essential for achieving greatness. Lead with purpose, whether you are a team leader or a part of the team or an individual. Lead with clear purpose and inspire others with your vision. Just like Messi. Express gratitude. Take the time to acknowledge and appreciate the support of those around you. Believe in possibilities. Cultivate the mindset of self-belief and optimism. Messi believed he will win the Copa America. He did. He also said that he believed they will win the World Cup, and they did eventually. Passion and motivational connection. Pursue your goal with unwavering passion and emotional investment. Celebrate achievements. Then global perspective. In today's interconnected world, consider how your actions and choice can impact not only your immediate circle, but also the broader global community. Think about the broader implications of your pursuit. In this modern age, where challenges and opportunities abound, Messi's speech serves as a timeless call to action. Let it inspire you to strive for excellence, to lead with purpose, and foster communication that will bring about a positive change in your life and in the world around you, and it make you achieve what others cannot achieve, like the World Cup. So moving quickly, and that was Lionel Messi's speech on his address, his inspiring speech, and look back to Argentina's Copa America triumph ahead of the World Cup. Yeah. Striving for peace and understanding. Striving for peace and understanding go there. Man. In a compelling address to the Council of Europe on October 1st, 1973, Godia Meir, the Prime Minister of Israel, expressed their gratitude for the opportunity to speak and emphasize on the historic connection between Europe and the Jewish people, reflecting on the tragic events of the past and challenges faced by Israel since inception. Meir presented a passionate plea for cooperation, understanding, and eradication of terrorism. With Venus' recent events weighing heavily in her mind, she passionately shared her hopes for a peaceful future in those nations, in which nations can unite and work together for the greater good. Source PACE. Mr. President, members of the Council, thank you most sincerely for what you said this morning, and also for having extended my invitation to speak to the Council. I almost said to my to speak to the Council of Europe. We are not in Europe. I almost said to my sorrow, but our not being in Europe dates so far back that nothing can change that geographical fact. And because we are not yet achieved our ideas as a council similar to this in our area, a council of all countries and people in the area, we are still closely connected with Europe, with some countries in Europe and with this council generally. We felt it's a privilege to have had our observers in the council for many years. We have appreciated the close cooperation and the opportunities given to them to participate in various ways. We appreciated all along the full understanding of our problems that was expressed by this council. Maybe it should not be surprising that it is so. The history of Europe and the history of the Jewish people are intertwined. We have always known many hours of sorrows and distress, and we, the Jewish people, we never forget that it was on this continent that first enjoyed equality, freedom, and possibilities of, normal free existence. In the memory of us, I took a look around, and maybe there are some who are too young to have experienced it. In the last and greatest of all honors that described upon Europe, in which my people have the greatest sufferers. All of the people of my countries alike suffered. We tried in dedication of our young generation to keep balance in both sides. We wished our young generation to grow up in feeling that at all times in our rather tragic history, everybody is against us. We always try to point out to them that at every point period in the life of the Jewish people, no matter how terrible, there were always some. At various period at various period few, at various periods many, who were with us to the very sacrifice of our lives. As normal procedure requires, I suppose I too have tried in the steps of those who appear before such a forum. As this and I've written a speech, I think you have it. But I decided in the last moment not to place between me and you the paper of which is written, particularly in the context of what happened in the past 2 or 3 days. You were kind enough, Mr. President, to mention what happened in Vinya a few days ago, and decided that what happened in Vinya a few days ago is the entire problem that I wanted to bring before you. It highlights everything, and I thought that there is no sense in trying paragraph by paragraph to say what actions in Vinya, what the actions in Vinya have already said. What is it? The state of Israel is 25 years old. The state of Israel of 25 years has not had a consecutive year of absolute peace. The countries in Europe have known war. Some have known war more than once. It is almost incomprehensible that any country in Europe should think that one of its neighbors that maybe it is some have known war more than once. It is almost incomprehensible that any country in Europe should think that one of its neighbors that maybe has attacked it in the past will do it again. Somehow you believe that all of us have learned the lessons that war solves no problem, that it has the same results for both sides in a smaller or greater extent. Nobody who has even won a war has won it without suffering. Not without suffering, without loss of lives, without destruction. There is a price for winning a war too. There is a price for losing one. But everybody who has won a war has paid the price as well. We have all won our wars, we have paid the price. Many thousands of our young sons and daughters would have been alive today. Should have been alive today and participated in the constructive activity of building their country. Many thousands on the other side, the Arab countries should have been alive today to participate in the constructive activities of their countries so that their people would be better off today than they are. Maybe in a dream of hope that the time will come when our area will duplicate what Europe has done. But many dreams of ours have come true. Anyway, only the extent that they have the courage to dream do individuals or countries have the courage also to execute the hopes and dreams. We dream and we hope that the time will come when our area will duplicate what Europe has done. That together we shall discuss problems and what is even important. We shall build our area in real cooperation, knowing that it's not single people in our area can be happier if anybody if other people had destroyed it. The happiness of all people in the entire area depends upon upon our all living there in peace and cooperation. I said it that the state of Israel is 25 years old, which is one of the most characteristic difference of Israel from other countries, and is somehow still holds an explanation to the world, to individual countries. If we look at the United Nations as the family of nations, in this family to which we belong, after year of 25 years, we have been accused and have explained ourselves. What has happened in Vineyard highlighted the problems of the Jewish people and highlight the position of Israel among its neighbors. We lost in the Holocaust one third of our people, of which that remained there three centers: the United States, the Soviet Union, and Israel. Israel has grown into from a population of 650,000 in 1943 to close to 3 million. The state of Israel was built and makes sense only if it can do one thing: become the country to which every Jew, whether it has to or want to and can come as of right. One of the first laws we passed was the law of the return. This that Israel was not the property of the 650,000, nor is it now close to the 300 million. It belongs to every Jew in the world that wants to come to it and live in it. It belongs to every Jew in the world who wants to come to it and live in it, old or young or sick. Jews have come to us from various parts of the world, from every part of the world, from very underdeveloped countries to highly developed countries. They have tried to integrate themselves into one people with some successes, I believe. Jews have come to us from various parts of the world, from underdeveloped countries and from highly developed countries. We have tried to integrate ourselves into one people with some success, I believe. Jews from the Western world can come whether they like, but there is a problem to close to 3 million Jews in the Soviet Union. Some say that there are 3.5 and others say there are 4 million. The official census of Russia says there are over 2.5 million Jews, and it is well known that many Jews are not registered as Jews in Russia because they thought that might make their life easier. I believe that many of those Jews want to come to Israel. They do not even say that they want to leave the Soviet Union because of its regime, because of its ideology, and over again they say one thing: we are Jews. Every people has a country of its own. We want to go to the country of our people. We want to help in the creation of this country. We want to be a part of our people in the Jewish state. I do not want to relate with you in detail how difficult it is for them to do it if more are coming out. I'm happy to say it's probably due to the large extent to the attitude this council has taken on the subject matter. We do not have a common border with the Soviet Union. Most Jews have to go through other countries. They felt and still think that every country which believes in freedom, those people believe in freedom and in the dignity of the individual, believes that every people without exception has the right to live. The right to live exists only if there are people, if every people has the right to defend itself, hoping that it will not need to exercise that right. But if it is faced by danger, then it must have the right to self-defense. That must apply to all people, the Jews included. I understand very well that there is a problem for every country which allows Jews through this territory in the way of Israel. But Jews do not create the problem. It is created by those who want to destroy them, to kill them. The person who threatens with a gun, the person who defends himself in order to ensure that the gun is not fired at the same. There are different covenants saying a pledge on both houses. It probably embodies the greatest injustice which can be done. At best, it saves the person who saves it from the difficulty and anxiety of having to make a decision. It means that it does not have to decide which of the two should be played and which should not. It is not easy for him to say it is not my business. This one has a gun and the other has a gun. A pledge in both houses, of you both of you out, but even the situation is not true in reality because one of the person says, I will not even get out unless you do ask me to do against the other person. So often his conditions are accepted and the other person is put out. In referring to what has happened in Vienna, I am not going to bring this forum the question of what the Austrian government have done. I am speaking of the problem itself as it was highlighted. What is the danger if this situation is accepted? In the 1967 war was the third in the area. I call their attention to the fact that those inflexible stubborn people accepted the 1973 United Nations resolution. It was destroyed by our neighbors. We agreed to live within the lines of the Armistice agreement. The border was violated over and over again. It is true that Israel was condemned by the Security Council many times. It is true that Israel was condemned by the Security Council many times, but we were condemned by the act of reprisal. That means that something has happened and we acted to it. I'm not speaking in the name of a nation of angels. We try to be decent humans. We cannot promise the world to seek an agreement that they will accept us if we be angels. We were more or less like the same as other people. After the war of 1963, we honestly and sincerely believe that this was the last war. My predecessor, the late Mr. Echon, on behalf of the Israeli government, immediately told the Arab countries, let us sit it down and negotiate as equals. Not as winners or losers, let us make a peace treaty once and for all. Let us work together. We got the answer to no negotiation, no recognition, no peace. I'm going for a short break. I'll be back soon. Um, Thank you for staying here. We'll continue now. Following failure on the battlefield, we are on the speech by Golda Meir, the Prime Minister of Israel, striving for peace and understanding. She was making the address to the European Council on 1st of October 1973. So we started reading the address before I went on that short break. So we'll proceed now. Following failure on the battlefield, terrorist activities began in Israel proper, the occupied areas and across the borders. They failed in that as it were. I remind you that we have an Israel Arab community in Israel of about 400,000, including Muslims and Christians and those of the Jewish faith. They enjoy equality in all Israel's citizens. I'm happy to say we are enjoying prosperity and development. An Arab village in Israel today has no counterpart in an Arab country. I'm happy to say that the terrorist acts in the occupied terrorists on the western bank in the Gaza Strip are stopped. Doors and bridges are open. The people come and go from one part of Israel to another. They go to Jordan and other countries to study on vacation. Thousands of them do so. There is a constant flow of Arabs from enemy countries. Having failed in Israel itself, Arab organization helped by Arab government provided with them with arms and training for terrorist acts have taken terrors into Europe and all parts of the world. Well, I understand the feelings of the Prime Minister and other members of the government in a country who have nothing to do with this. Why has our territory been chosen for activities of this kind? I do understand those feelings. I understand that they may reach the conclusion that the only way to free themselves of this headache is to take this country out of bonds, either for Jews or for certain Israelis or for terrorists. Such a choice has to be taken by every government. I understand what it is like when a plane is hijacked. I have had experiences of dealing with such situations, and I've taken to face the green problem why Israeli men and women in Thailand were kept on the floor, bound hand and foot for 20 hours. We have had to say over and over again that we would not do the terrorist biding. I hope I do not explain that in saying that I had no easy heart. Yet the parents of one of the young men and one of the young women involved called me to say, do not give in. Was it because they have no heart? Have the parents no heart? Have the Prime Minister and the government no heart? My friends, we have spent the better lesson. One may save a life immediately, only to endanger more lives. Terrorism has to be wiped out. There are no deals with terrorists. What about this terrible thing which has happened at Vinia? Is that a deal? Otherwise, I don't know what happened. Let us say it was an agreement, an understanding. I'm preparing to use the kindest word if it really change the situation. An understanding has been made that the terrorists will let these 3 Jews and 1 Australian go while in return, Russia Jews who want to go to Israel will not be helped through Austria. After all they have gone through in their struggle. Or, as it will not modify since, they will not be helped in the same extent. And there is a great victory through the terrorist organization in the radius of the Arab states. And rightly so, from their point of view, this is the first time that the government has come to an agreement like this kind. Until now, the most that has been done, something we criticize, is that the terrorists have committed terrorist acts. In one, as in Munich at the Olympic Games, finally find themselves free again to go through or find to go through the same operation all over again. Now they have got much more than that. A very basic important principle of freedom of movement of people has been put under a question mark at any rate for Jews, and there is a great victory. I know and I'm convinced that the question of lives of the four people are very dear. The four are now, they are alive, but I am convinced, certainly with no intention whatsoever on the part of the Austrian government or its prime minister, that what was happening in Vienna is the greatest encouragement to terror throughout the world. My friends, the first place that was hijacked was the EIA plane in Algeria, and Algeria accepted the full plane of passengers, and since the world remained silent, yes, there was an article here and there, a speech here and there. Look what happened to the question or the air passage throughout the world. Nobody who got on a plane is really convinced that he will safely reach his destination, especially if, God forbid, there should be an Israeli on the phone, on the planes of any kind. The difference between an Israeli and a Jew is very difficult to distinguish. They are speaking in the world of 70s and 20th century. Does the nobody from the Soviet Union be allowed to go through Austria refer to Jews only? Believe me, we are extremely grateful for all the Australian government have done in the tens of thousands of Jews who have gone through Austria, from Poland, from Romania, and from Soviet Union. We are extremely grateful for the manpower that the Australian government have put at the disposal of these Jews coming from Soviet Union who have stayed in Kazma, sometimes for hours, sometimes for 24 hours. We have done something this 25 years. We have enjoyed a lot of friendship and understanding from people throughout the world. I sincerely and honestly hope that this is not the final decision of Austrian government, and I honestly and sincerely hope that there is more misunderstanding somewhere, and that there is misinterpretation. We are not looking for a victory over any government. We are anxious to have these things clarified. It is only a mere chance that appear here after this weekend. I think that it would be very dishonest on my part, since I am here today, if I have not brought to your attention how we, the people of Israel, the government of Israel, view what has happened. If it is said that in order to safeguard the welfare of Soviet Union or their way to Israel, they must not be given facilities, then why Austria? Why should not all other countries say the same old goods for our territory? I want to end with only one bitter memory. It is no secret to you people, I suppose, that I am pictured in the world as an old woman who has many complexes and many memories. In the long memory of our people, there has been the diaspora, there has been the There has been the pogroms in the Khazarite Russia as memory, my first memory. There was the Holocaust and there is terrorism. I remember all this. I am not the only one who also remember that in 1938 one of the greatest presidents in the United States has had called in the conference in Evian from many countries represented. There were some fine and most sincere speeches expressing sympathy for the Jewish refugees who were running around this world, then fleeing from Germany and from every country to which Nazis gained entrance. Everyone condemned fascism and expressed the greatest sympathy with the Jewish people, and the refrain from all of them was, "But my country cannot accept them." The representative of one country said, "There was never a Jewish problem in my country, therefore we do not want to create a Jewish problem by allowing these Jewish to come in." But my friends, again, I thank you for listening. Forgive me if I brought to you again some of the problems facing Israel. So that's the speech of Godiamir striving for peace and understanding in Israel. From this speech, we can learn the pursuit of peace through negotiation. Mayors emphasize Israel's commitment to seeking peace through negotiation with its neighbors, ensuring equality and freedom of all people. Mayors stress the importance of recognizing the right of all people to live freely and with dignity. Right of return for Jews. Good mayors passionately defended the principle that Israel is a homeland for Jews worldwide. Pursuit of peace through nepotism. The intricate link between history and present. Godiamir underscores the intertwined history of Europe and the Jewish people, recognizing the importance of remembering past strategies and preserving a balanced view of historic events. Rights of return for Jews, ensuring equality and freedom of all people. Godiamir passionately defended the principle of Israel, that Israel is a homeland for Jews worldwide, encouraging the right of return for all Jews who wish to make Israel their home. The call to action from Godiamir's speech to the modern day is a collective commitment to promoting peace, understanding, and cooperation among nations. Diplomatic solutions encourage government and international organizations to prioritize diplomacy and peaceful negotiations as the primary means to resolve conflict, engage in constructive dialogue to find common ground and sustainable solutions, combating terrorism, formulate robust strategies and strengthen international cooperation to combat terrorism in all its forms. Nations must unite to prevent and respond to combat terrorist activity while ensuring respect for human rights and rule of law. Embrace cultural diversity, promote understanding and appreciation of cultural diversity, emphasize education and exchange programs that foster intercultural understanding and respect, reducing the potential for prejudice and discrimination. Humanitarian assistance extends support and material aid to those affected by conflict and violence, encourage nations to collaborate in providing aid to refugees and displaced populations, uphold freedom of movement, safeguard the principle and freedom of movement for people of all nationalities, peaceful conflict resolution, strengthen international alliance, strengthen alliances between nations, fostering cooperation and collective action in addressing global challenges. Remember historic strategies, maintain a balanced understanding of history, promoting inclusivity. By adding to the call action from Gaudium, Mian's speech and embracing these principles, the international community work together to build a more peaceful, inclusive, and prosperous world for all. It is through collective effort and commitment to understanding and cooperation that the world can overcome its challenges and create a better future. And so, we've come to the end of Godia Mian's address. Okay, I feel like we can start the second interactive section. We already had one in the morning whereby we engage, we ask questions, we addressed issues surrounding happenings in the society, and discuss on possible solutions and how we can actually achieve these solutions. So, questions from members of the audience?
Thank you, everyone. As you said, it's time for interactive session. We can ask him questions from any sector, from health to education to entertainment to the economy. He has been reading speeches from over 200 inspirational speakers, past leaders of different countries. So any questions that we have that has been on our mind concerning any issues in the world, we can do well to ask. He's fully loaded. He's going to do his possible best to give good answers to them. So please, any questions?
Good afternoon, everyone. I listened to your speech on the Argentina's record in the Copa America and at the World Cup, talking about the motivation of Messi to the team. I want to put it to you. Do you think that it's only the motivation that spurred the team to victory both at the continental level and at the international level? Because beyond the rhetorics of motivation, what do you think should be some other adjoining factors to success in life? Thank you.
Any other questions?
And then
I only want to, I'm here to encourage you to put in more effort on behalf of Ondo State Universal Basic Education. Because some people are making attempts to break Guinness World Records on kissing or romancing. But we are happy that one of our sons is making attempts on education. So I'm here to encourage you and to let you know that we are fully in support. I will pray along that God will help you. Thank you.
My name is Michael Chubuzo. Good afternoon. My question is this. If Israel can accommodate all Jews, irrespective of where you are from, as long as you are Jew, they can accommodate you. Won't it be possible for a great nation like Nigeria to accommodate every Nigerian, irrespective of tribe or ethnicity? Is there a way that we can reduce the influence of tribe and ethnicity in Nigerian politics, with religion too? in Nigerian politics? Is there a way we can reduce the effect so that some slogans, some laws will be abolished and we can progress as one nation? Thank you very much.
No other questions. Yeah, the first question regarding Neolemes's speech towards the commencement of the World Cup, addressing their previous victory at the Copa America, and yes, you would want to say that aside the motivation that the team would also have some other things that help to secure their success. Yes, those things are important. However, the reason why the motivation is so important in their last victory was because before then they've been a fantastic team. In every Copa America competition they are the favorites to win, but they had lacked that one thing. So the motivation to actually do it at that point was what they had lacked in their previous game. It was like they've been preparing. The preparation is important. The team cohesion, the teamwork is very important. The quality of players very important. But they've been having it in the previous international competitions. That has been what they've been bringing. So what made it different that time was the motivation. They told themselves this time around, I played in our homeland and we must bring it home. We must win it. We must win it because we have lost so many. We must win it because we are putting much more sacrifice this time around. So I feel like that is why the concentration is on the motivation. I hope I answered the question. I'm very grateful for the support and the show of support of Sir. I'm really grateful. The effect of Israel, the Prime Minister at that time said the country was open in all arms to everyone that is a Jew. No, Nigeria is open to everyone that is in Nigeria, irrespective of, according to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, irrespective of your tribe, irrespective of your religion. As long as you are a Nigerian, you are entitled to all the rights in the Constitution. But I may know where your concern is coming from, and so as not to pretend. The honest truth is that some sect of people who might be seeing themselves as the minority should actually change. I believe they should just change that mindset, because in recent happenings in the country, you can see that there is no such thing, honestly. And I'm going to relate it to the happenings of the last general elections. A particular tribe they had seen themselves as minority. They had seen themselves as not being counted as part of the country, and then they brought out the candidates to contest in the general election. And you will agree with me that the whole country embraced the candidates. He had votes from the entire 6 regions of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it shows that there's acceptability. What is just needed is they need to keep putting themselves forward. They've tried the first time, it didn't work. You don't need to now start. You don't need to go back and start complaining that you may not get it the first time. What you need to do is you've gotten the reach has gotten to a stage. You've made the first effort that was widely accepted. What you do is you keep building on that. You keep showing love to the people of the country to increase your acceptability. Not like how you retreat and then you start blaming the others that didn't get the support. So the first, we would say this last election is the time that the Southeastern had so much influence in that election and garnered that much vote, and that's to show you that Nigerians accept everybody. You have to from the north central, the northeast, the northwest, the southeast, the southwest, the south. So what you just need to do is you need to keep putting effort. Don't see yourself as minority, see yourself as part of the country. Engage in every activities in other part of the country. Improve the relationship, because there were incidents that occurred after the election that a lot of people were like, wow, we shouldn't have even supported this tribe because the backlash was that so that's not what's supposed to happen. The fact that you didn't get it this time doesn't mean you will not get it the next time. It's consistency and more effort that can help us, and at the end of the day you get it. So I like I said earlier, Nigeria is open to all Nigerians, and we thank God that we have evidence now. It's open to everybody. Nigeria is not for a tribe, it's not for a religion, it's for everybody. That's what I can say. And I hope I was able to answer this question.
Voices of change inspire the solution for a better world. Day before yesterday when I came where we were discussing about curriculum, the education sector, we talked about the need for local intelligence. Now I want to bring into the limelight the Igbo's model of business. Knowing full well that as far as the world is concerned, the Jewish are the richest. In fact, they control almost 50% of the world wealth. Okay, and if we bring that to Nigeria, we understand the influence the Igbos have on Nigeria economy vis-a-vis production. So I want to put it to you: what is your own take, or what do you think we can do better as a nation to inculcate this Igbo's model of business success to basically every facet of the economy of the country, to make a boost as the Jewish are doing it? Is there a way we can also inculcate that into the country using the Igbo's model of business success? Thank you.
That question made me remember a particular book launching I attended, I think 2 years or 3 years ago. Although the title of the book is, I think, the success of an Igbo man, or like the book was just promoting the resilience, the innovative powers of an average Igbo man, and how they have this ability to create and garner wealth. Now, the thing is, if you say we should bring it to, we should model, or I'm trying to look for the exact word you use, like for the entire country, right? Whereby we can replicate. What I would say is that Nigeria as a country is very diverse, and each tribe has its own peculiarity. And if we say we want to model a tribe after that tribe, does that mean we are not satisfied, or we are condemning the peculiarity of the other tribes? If that is not the case, but these other tribes to have qualities that we can also ask those ones to model after. I don't know if I'm communicating. Yeah. So every tribe in Nigeria has its own peculiarity, and for the Igbo people, they are known for their resilience and their passion towards creation of wealth. So, and that is a good one. But the thing here is that these attributes is something that we have not even felt, just like all the other attributes that, all the other peculiarities of other tribes, not only limited to the Igbo people, we are still lacking certain, let's say, certain ingredients that will push the country from the state it is. Because if we, okay, now the Igbo people have this ability to create wealth, the economy of the country is still in this condition. Should we not talk about how to enhance that quality first, put the country running, then ask other people to? Because now, if other people just copy and we still remain stagnant, what is the use? The country is still at this level, despite the fact that some people are innovative, some people like to join two and three, some people like to copy another and help us to rebrand it, and then we are using it. To a large extent, it drives a lot in the economy, but to how much extent? What is the impact in the overall economic situation of the country? Because I know that if the government or enough focus and attention is given to that particular aspect, it's something that will drive a lot of something that can drive the economy, at least a percentage of the economy. So if, as of now, we've not been able to enhance that attribute, should we be talking about other people copying it? Let's still look at the usage of that quality to make things work in Nigeria. Let us say, okay, from this sector, the manufacturing sector in this particular 2 or 3 states, they are adding about also $1 billion to the economy of Nigeria yearly. They are adding also billions to the economy of their states yearly. Things are happening in the states because they are doing it, because they can do it. Alright? So it is now that we can now say, we that we are here, that we have not started doing it, let us look at them too. Let us imbibe that quality. So I feel like that's where I see it. That's where I see it. I feel like we should use this. They have it already. Let us fashion. Let us look for ways that it will bring productivity. We would be enjoying. The country would know that a particular percentage is coming from that industry, from that quality, that resilience. But now they have it there. They are doing it there. But what impact is it having on the country? The mic, please.
Thank you. We understand the need for us to harness the Igbo's talent. The impact it has on the country is there because there's nothing. Most of the things we get in this country today, aside those that are the ones that are imported from probably China, most of the things we use today are gotten from Aba. Specifically, out of if you go to any boutique in this Abuja, I can tell you if you see 10 products in the boutique, I can say it without missing where 6 of it will come from Aba. So I think it's just important that we look deeply into it. I'm not saying holistically that everybody has to copy them, but in terms of IGL, the Igbos are making much money for the country. You talk of your footwear, the clothes you wear, wristwatches. Look at what Innocent is doing in the automobile industry. So you can see that they are actually the fulcrum of the Nigerian economy, aside the oil sector and the agriculture. But when it comes to production, the Igbos are always at the forefront. And it is important, like you said, that we invest money there. So if the government can be proactive enough to invest money deeply in the production of clothes, footwear, ammunition. Of course, they produce guns and ammo tanks there. Okay, so let's look at it. We don't have to jettison the quality of others, but of course we can harness the quality of every other ethnicity, bring it together and make something good out of it. Thank you.
Any more questions for Chris?
Uh, Good afternoon. If you look at Nigerian leaders today, whenever they get just ordinary malaria, they get out of the country for treatment. Many of them go to UK, go to US for medical attention. So, what can we do to, to improve the health sector in Nigeria? What can we do? What is the advice can you give to the government of the day so that we, the commoners, can have access to the common quality health treatment in Nigeria? Thank you.
I like that question because the question was you were not just you the question was direct, like what should we can give the governor now that Mr. Governor, the health sector is poor. This is what the people want to say want from you, right? Abi? That's the question. Yeah. I like that because that is how we can provide solutions. Not only by discussing the problem. Now, looking at it, to provide solutions, you need to what is the health sector lacking? The health sector in Ondo State, what is it lacking? Which of the sectors in the health sector is lacking? With my little knowledge, with a few seminars and workshops I've attended, I can say to some extent that the basic health sector is not that lacking due to its level and the effort that I've seen and heard that the government has taken, primary basic health care. But how many of us access those ones? Because that's what we used to judge. How many of us access those ones? We all majorly access at the secondary and the tertiary health care. So now in that tertiary and the secondary health care, what are those things that are also lacking? I don't have much information because if I'm to talk about health sector, health care, my personal health is being managed by a doctor that I don't need to go to an hospital before he consults for me and I get access and you understand now. So what I'm trying to say is that I may not have the full data, the full breakdown of like, okay, if I see the governor now, I will never mention health to him because I don't know. Alright? But you have seen these problems, alright? You understand the pain. Do you know what I can do for you now? Is that if you can, or maybe you can, maybe that's why you ask, or if there we can throw it to the house now. If we have people that can actually mention these things, I know that definitely we may mention ambulances, measure the stable electricity, measure more drugs, I don't know. But if you can itemize these things, maybe we can now work together to now find a way to ensure that we make that request reach where it's supposed to reach. And we can now say, okay, let us now work together. Or in fact, if I say I want to do research on the healthcare sector now, I'm not sure if I will be able to get the required information because I cannot even monitor the computation of the data. Because I can just ask someone to do that. But for you that is very, very concerned about this now, how about we do it like this? We trade to this house now. People will share their opinions. People will provide solutions that we can recommend. Right? So after we have got the solutions that we can recommend, we will now say, okay, in so period, we are going to channel our attention to this cause and ensure that we make our voice heard towards the cause. That some certain people, a group of people in Ondo State are not satisfied with the health condition and they are making these demands from the government. We will now, within that period, use all available resources, resources means that we will do it peacefully and we advance from there. But we are going to make sure that the most important thing is that we get a feedback that we have what held you. So, because we are not in the government, we can't fix it with our money. But when they say they've heard us, we know that we have contributed our quota to the society. So now I'm turning to the house. What are the recommendations we can make towards? But if to answer is, you need to understand the health sector. You need to probably be a doctor. You have to, or you are a regular user of the Ondo State health sector or health facility. Because I don't want us to bring rough ideas that they will tell us they have done this one. I know for sure you cannot take anything regarding basic health care to the governor's face. I know that one for sure because they have really tried in that aspect. Even first time you ask any primary health care worker, they will tell you that the government is really putting money inside. But outside that now, the tertiary health care facilities, the trauma centers, all those ones, what do they need there specifically so that you can ask? You know, it's not be okay if you have some things that they provided and it's evidence that they have those things. So to want to adjust, let us have passport, let us be probably a doctor in any of the hospital, or we are training. Okay, let's say people that use training center, teaching hospital. She said she's always at the teaching hospital. So those ones, they know what they need in those facilities. So maybe they can give us solutions that we can now recommend.
Thank you for the wonderful speech. Please, I want to ask a question.
I thought you wanted to answer the question.
Oh.
There's a question that I thought you wanted to answer.
Sorry, I want to ask a question.
Can you first answer this? Okay, ask.
Please, why is it that Nigerian government have made it in a way that the law is above everybody? Not only the law, like they've made it in a way that like we must abide to the choice they choose. That even our choices as the masses does not matter any longer. For example, if we want to protest, okay, most of us we've even given up because of this last election. Most people are like, I'm not even going to vote again because what is the point? Okay, if it's that maybe our parents voted for like a particular person and maybe our parents voted more than the youth. Okay, let's take for an instance, if they increase our school fees, why is it that when they know that okay we are about to protest, they will just look for a way that they will just say that okay, let's send these people home? Like the government have made it in a way that is it that we are the one that we are doing this? Is it that we as a person are the one that are involved in this, or where is the problem for? Because the government have made it in a way that we don't even have any say again. They just want us to make a decision, but at their own corner they made a decision already that these people's voices does not even matter. So what are we going to do to this to bring up the change? Because just a person cannot just do this change, and it's really affecting and weakening our law. Thank you.
I will try to react to both issues, the issues of health sector and health sector. Okay. If we really want our health sector to thrive in Nigeria, we need to end medical tourism for our public office holders. That is the only solution. We need a law that will make it mandatory that in as long as you are in public office and you are being sustained by the money of taxpayers, if anything do you, you must be treated in Nigeria. Otherwise, the moment you have, we can no longer afford to have our governors go to India and Canada to go treat malarias. It is your duty to provide health services in the country. If anything happens to you, you should be there in the ruin. Those deplorable hospitals that you have refused to build, the moment things happen to you, you should be forced to use those hospitals too. They must be stringent. The majority of our problems in Nigeria is because there are no repercussions for actions. There are no consequences for action. Money is meant for a lot of things will be diverted to other places until we make it stringent that if you are being maintained by taxpayers' money, or even your children must go to public school, you yourself must get treatment from what you will see the way they will begin to do wonders in the health sector. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Olusa, for the speech so far. I want to just compliment what he said, based on the fact that he said there are no repercussions for majority of the activities that our public officers do. And the effect of that will be that, for example, if there is a law passed that each person in public office should be treated here in the country, what that will do is it will allow them to actually provide more equipment that will be able to treat some of these ailments. That's one. Two, another thing I feel can be a solution is the doctors and nurses' attitudes towards the general public. To start with, we find out that when you go to the hospital, sometimes you might be waiting, and sometimes these nurses will just be using you to gist. They will just be there gisting. So if there is also a law or a repercussion, or they take their oath seriously, they will not just see somebody that is sick and needs urgent treatment and be using the person to gist. So if that can be tackled, the attitude towards work by our doctors and nurses, if that can be tackled first, at least it will go a long way in them even say, okay, they are the ones, because the truth is that they are the ones that are using these equipment, they are the ones that are using all these things. If they themselves are not fighting the government, what more can we that we are just masses do? So if their attitude towards work is treated and worked on, then they will have the opportunity and say that, okay, let them fight for the equipment that they need to work effectively. That's what I want to say.
Well, I must agree with the point of the two previous speakers, okay? Definitely, there is need for attitudinal change. We just want to highlight the problems now, okay? There is issue of attitudinal change, then the need for stoppage of medical tourism. And of course, it's important we know that if we are going to stop medical tourism, then why are the politicians or are the elites traveling out of the country for medical treatment? One, we look at the state or the condition of the hospitals. We look at the number of medical personnel. We look at the consultants. Then electricity is very, very important, because there are some vaccines that you have to keep at 4 degrees centigrade. And if you don't have electricity to keep those vaccines, then so electricity is most important Then talking about the personnel, as at 2021, we have 97 neurosurgeons in Nigeria. That's 2 years ago. 27 neurosurgeons in a country of over 120 million people. At the minimum, we should have nothing less than 2,000 to 3,000 neurosurgeons. But that was 2 years ago. And of course, we understand the Japism syndrome now. So we have brain drain, we have a lot of doctors traveling out of the country, a lot of medical personnel. So the government must do something to encourage our medical personnel. We have to equip them. Aside equipping them, we have to review their salary, their monthly pay. Because someone was talking about attitude the other time. If there is no motivation, then you'll be angered. When I started my work, the way I started, then the energy I put into it, because there was a kind of commiserable payment with my effort, I enjoyed it. But now, the same amount I was receiving 5 years ago is what I'm still collecting now. Look at the state of the economy. Do you want me to be happy? So the government must try as much as possible to encourage the medical personnel. Our hospitals must be properly equipped. Then there is need for constant uninterrupted power supply. Then I think with this we can move forward as a country, and of course naturally the issue of medical tourism will die a natural death. I'm talking about 97 neurosurgeons earlier. Do we have a consultant neurosurgeon in Nigeria? Because if you want to perform any medical operation, there must be a consultant on ground. So I'm not sure if we have just one single consultant neurosurgeon in the country. So it's as terrible as that. So I think with that we can move forward. Thank you.
Okay, I feel like there's still one question that needs to be answered. So why does it seem like the people are not being listened to? That people are not being answered, and that the last election was discouraging? Okay. Yeah? I don't know if she has probably engaged in any advocacy, or I don't know. But for you to say that the people are not being heard, my question is like, have you made efforts before and the efforts were futile? That's the first question I want to ask. And you also tell us the means at which you used to channel your recommendations and all of that. So yes, I know that it is very true that a lot of Nigerians will say they don't listen to us, but those Nigerians don't talk beyond beer parlors, under the tree, and WhatsApp groups, and they will say they don't hear us. Their discussion is not after WhatsApp, is where they drink. If it's not where they drink, it's under a tree. And they say they don't listen to us. Which government is listening to you? Let me just hear from you. Let us also learn from you too.
Let's take for an instance, when my school fees in my school was increased. So we some set of people were planning on protesting. Then all of a sudden the school management brought out a punishment that anyone that do any protest or refuse to go home will be punished and will be really sanctioned. How do you want me? I'm not the only one in the school. I should be sanctioned for speaking on behalf of how many thousands people. That's what I'm trying to say, that they find a way, they find a means that let's do this, because they know that this is the law. They find a way that let's do this to these people, that to silence them. And the thing is that making advocacy, what you said earlier, let's look at this guy that came up, very dark man on TikTok about some skincare products. The particular girl that I was fighting for, that a product maltreated her. Do you know that later, 3 days ago, it was both revealed that the owner of that product went to settle that girl at the back. Please, that's what I'm saying, that they look for a way to make the owner of that, the person that led that advocacy, to be a fool. So, in that case again, what do you want that very dark man to do as a person? So that's what I'm saying, that is it our problem? Now, I know that the problem is from us, but please, is there any other means? Is there any other way? Because the wife, they can think beyond the boss, they can think beyond the cycle, but we as the black, we need to, like, this small cycle, we can think beyond it. Another person can bring an answer to this question now. Okay, what if we do it like this? What if we do it like this? So I really appreciate you for telling me that what is my own effort that brought me to this. So I really appreciate. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to react to that notion of white supremacy. The white man, I don't know about you, but the white man is not better than me. That's the first thing I would like to say. And another thing, personally, I believe the definition of insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result. That is insanity. We have been protected. There's this thing with the masses do. Anytime there's a policy we don't like, we go on protest, police will come, shoot tear gas, everybody will go back to their houses, lick their wound for a few days, maybe mourn the dead for at least a week, and it's back to business as usual. We cannot continue like that. So we have been shouting revolution now for the past God knows how long. I believe that the solution to our problem is this. If you really want to steer water, you have to be in it. If you, like that pool now, I cannot steer that pool from this place. If I really want to cause a steer in that pool, I have to be inside that pool. If you really want to change government policies, if you really want to make a difference in governance, you have to be in governance. And the answer to that is not good in governance or whatever. At least we all know what our student union presidents are doing with the little power they have. So it's not about youthfulness, it's about having God-fearing people in power. And the best way and the only way to change government, to influence governmental policy is coming out to vote. Get your voters card. No matter what the EU report is saying, no matter the NBA gave a report, I can say categorically anywhere that the 2023 presidential election is the freest and fairest election we've had in our recent democracy. Number one, the three major ethnic groups were equally represented, but the people spoke, and the will of the people became supreme. Now, the government is in place. I think it is time we as citizens should know the difference between politics and governance. The time of politicking is gone. It is time to govern, and I can say categorically that an average Nigerian is not patriotic. Maybe we should start from there. Maybe we should be more patriotic to our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just want to react to what my sister has just said. If we want a change, the change must begin from us, we the youth. Imagine an SUG presidential aspirant, an SUG presidential aspirant spending outrageous amount of money on elections, spending millions on elections. Are you expecting such a person, if he eventually emerge, and he led the protest that okay, let's say for instance, the school is representing, there's hike in school fees, and he led the protest. And in that case, the school management or the state government or the federal government, as the case may call him or her, okay, come on, Mr. Man, you know you have spent enough money on elections, and take this 5 million naira, go and shut your students up. So if we need a change, it must equally start from us. And in that case, that person will probably go in and back to that idea. He will collect money and just go and tell the students that okay, we are named with the student affairs, the state government, and very soon they will get back to us. And they will get back to us. There's nothing will change. No positive results. And if you really need a change, like I said, the change stands. The change must begin from us. And what I was saying is this: if in our respective institutions, in our respective schools, you have various presidential aspirants contesting for the post of the LG president, you know the capacity. I know your capacity. I know what you can do. Forget about money. I remember in my school then. When one guy was contesting as the LG president, that guy was sharing 5,000 per vote. Yes, 5,000 per vote. 5,000 per vote. Imagine a student too, 5,000 per vote, and the school management gave him 10 million naira. The state government gave him 10 million naira. Are you expecting that kind of a person? Now, if eventually emerge to come and speak for you, hell no. Hell no. The first thing they will do when they emerge, they just increase your school fees. Hey, let's go and protest, and you are forgetting that you have collected 5K for your vote. So if you really need a change, the change must begin from us. So that's justice. Thank you.
It's been a wonderful session, and I know that a lot of people have given answers to her. But what I just like to add is that, like I said earlier, we need to, if we cannot do the wrong things. And because we do not see result doing the wrong things, we feel like nothing is happening. Alright? Like I said earlier, you cannot say from 100% that your voice will not be heard if you have not spoken before. Alright? And I said earlier that we need to correct how we show our grievances as a people. We should stop the habit of complaining where we don't need to complain. If you drink, when you get to that place, just drink, go to your house. We should channel our grievances, our requests in the right manner. Let us ensure that these people hear what we are asking for. It's not by arguing on WhatsApp group for 800 hours. If we are looking for something in the health sector, let us look for the stakeholders in the health sectors that can solve that problem. if you're looking for solutions in the educational sector, let us look for people in that sector that we can complain to, because at the end of the day, most of these people, I will not say the people, I mean the top officials of the government, many a times they may have experienced this problem before, but once they get to this office and they no longer see it as frequent as they see it, they are forgotten. They are distracted already by the priorities in government. Government is full of so many priorities, like so many taxpayers' money is entering left and right, and so sometimes they don't even know again. They don't know their friends anymore. But we will complain in the wrong place. We speak in the wrong places. So that is what we want to stop doing now. We use all means that is permitted democratically to ensure that our voice is being heard. So your school wanted to go on protest, people stopped the protest because they said I don't know, maybe a suspended student or something. Well, if you guys had been more serious, you could have invited other bodies that can assist you. I know that Unimed can also suspend FUTA students if FUTA come as NANS. Alright? So it just shows seriousness. There are some what do you call it now? That was a threat. It's just a threat, it's a simple threat. Any protest always, it's something that happened and people will still protest. It just shows the position of your own student union. How courageous they are, how selfless they are. That's just what it shows. It's not today that they ask people not to do things that out of determination, out of the belief in that cause, that is a cause for humanity, is a cause for their people, they still go ahead and do it. So it's not today, it happens everywhere in the world, not only Nigeria, where you get, there's resistance. Yes, there's resistance. There's always resistance to whatever cause you have. Without cause for freedom, there's always resistance. But it is your determination, your resilience to that cause that will now distinguish your actions. So if your union has been serious, then you guys would have found a way around it. That's just what I want to say. I'm not sure there's any other question. Is there? Okay. There's no. Let us go back into. By the grace of God, last night we broke Guinness World Record of 90 hours 2 minutes for the longest marathon, and 90 minus 110 hours, now that's over 30 hours. So I can tell you for free that we're beating the record by over 30 hours, and we are still going. I don't know when we will stop, but the stop may be sooner. Let us look at the words of Fela Kuti, Evolution of Nigerian Music, Celebrating Our Cultural Heritage by Fela Kuti. In a heartfelt tribute to the iconic Fela, this speech serves as a testament to his profound impact on Nigerian music, culture, activism, developed in Fela's unique styles and employing his exact words. This commemorates addresses a homage to the legendary musician and activist, originally published in the Guardian News. It is a reflection of the evolution of Nigerian music and a celebration of our rich cultural heritage, and in honor of the indomitable spirit of Fela Kuti. So when the speech of Fela, so this were written using his words and Not that he actually stood one place to read it the way I'm about to read it. It was self-written in his words and his style. Today, as we are gathered to celebrate the evolution and on the evolution of Nigerian music. Today, as we are gathered to celebrate the evolution of Nigerian music and honor our rich cultural heritage, I cannot help but reflect upon the journey we have taken, the struggles we have faced, and the victories we have achieved. I stand before you not only as a musician but as an multi-instrumentalist, a human rights activist, a political maverick, and a revolutionary who was never afraid to stand for my belief. My journey as a musician was not merely about creating melodies and rhymes. It was about wielding the powerful weapon, a weapon that transcends physical boundaries and touches the very soul of humanity. I once proclaimed music is the weapon. Music is the weapon of the future. These words hold true even today. For music has the remarkable ability to unite people, inspire people, and preserve our cultural heritage. But my music was not limited to mere melodies. It was a call to action, a rebellion against oppression and trauma. In a time where people were shocked by fears and complacency, I sang, "My people are scared of the air around them. They always want an excuse not to fight for freedom." I could not stand hallowed by my fellow Nigerians, as my fellow Nigerians suffered in the hands of corrupt politicians and hungry leaders. I cried out, "My people are suffering and smiling. Every day, now the same word, enjoy for heaven." I was deeply influenced by my parents, especially my mother, Funmilayo, a leading figure in the nationalist struggle. From her, I learned the importance of standing up for what is right, no matter the consequences. I refused to be silenced even when faced with the vilification, harassment, and imprisonment by the Nigerian government. I believe in the power of spirituality, but not in the conventional sense. I once said to be spiritual is not by praying or going to church. Spiritualism is understanding of the universe so that it can be a better place to live in. I sought a deeper connection with the world around me, a connection that drives me to fight for a better Nigeria, a better Africa, and a better world. In my song, Water no get enemy, I sang, "Water no get enemy if you fight am. If you fight am, unless you won't die." I dey talk of black power. Water, like music, is a force that cannot be defeated when united. The power of the power of the black unity, the power of our heritage cannot be denied. I also spoke about against the self-destruction practice of skin bleaching among black women, singing "Yellow Fever, you dey bleach oh, you dey bleach oh, ugly thing, who say you fine and lie." We must embrace our natural beauty and be proud of our African roots. I was afraid of the challenge. I was not afraid to challenge the societal norm, and I encourage people to do the same. I believe that change should not be delayed until one reaches a certain age. I heard they say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. I won't say that to my brother. Change it. If you are a fool at 20 or 30, don't wait until you are 40. Fear is not in my vocabulary, and I proclaimed I refuse to live my life in fear. The secret to life is not to have fear. Fear paralyzes, but courage liberates. We must stand up, fearless in the state of adversity. Finally, I want to leave you with this word: I hold death in my pouch. I cannot die. With my physical presence, I have left this world. My spirit lives on, and my music continues to inspire, challenge, and not die. In celebrating the evolution of Nigerian music, let us also celebrate the resilience of our people, the power of our culture, and the indomitable spirit of Nigeria. Together we can build a brighter future where our music remains a weapon of unity, justice, and cultural preservation. Thank you, and let the rims of our heritage guide us forward. From and that is Fela's words on evolution of Nigerian music celebrating our cultural heritage. From the speech of Honorable Fela Kuti and celebrating the evolution of Nigerian music, several valuable lessons can be grilled. The power of music as a tool for change. Fela Kuti message that music is a weapon, is a weapon of the future, underscores the influential role that music can play in promoting social and political change. It reminds us of the power of acts to inspire, unite, and mobilize communities for a common cause. Courage to speak out. Fela's fearless advocacy for the right of the common man, even in the face of verification, harassment, and imprisonment, teaches us the importance of courage and resilience in standing up for what is right. Preserving cultural heritage. The speech highlights the heritage of celebrating and preserving cultural heritage through music. Fela's music was deeply rooted in Nigerian culture, and it served as a reminder of the importance of maintaining and passing down cultural traditions to future generations. Spirituality and understanding. Fela's perspective on spirituality as the understanding of the universe, so that it can be a better place to live. It suggests that spirituality can be a force of positive change and enlightenment, unity and collective strength. The reference to water highlights the ideology that unity and solidarity among people, particularly within black community, can be a formidable force against oppression and injustice. Fela Kuti's legacy and lessons derived from his speech offer a call to action for the modern day, encourage us to amplify our voice through music, speak out fearlessly, preserve our cultural heritage, seek understanding and enlightenment, take early action for change, promote natural beauty, foster unity and solidarity, live fearlessly, live positive legacy, support activism and advocacy. Incorporating this course of action into our daily lives can help us honor Fela Kuti's legacy and continue to pursue for a positive change. Fela's spirit lives on through our actions, and together we can continue to be more enlightened, unified, and harmonious. And with that, we end Fela Kuti's legacy speech. Moving to the unwinding pursuit of truth, a reflection on journalism by Dele Giwa. The unyielding pursuit of truth, a reflection on journalism by Dele Giwa. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members, esteemed individuals, and those who cherish the legacy of, who cherish the pursuit of truth and journalism. Today we embark on a unique journey into the world of journalism through the distinctive voice and words of a renowned journalist, himself Dele Giwa. In this speech we have endeavored to capture the essence of his style and unwavering commitment to the principles of journalism. During this speech marathon, our aim is to pay tribute to a man who has dedicated his life to truth, accountability, and the unrelenting pursuit of justice. In this self-generated, self-written speech, we seek to echo the spirit and wisdom of Dele Giwa as he imparts through the vital role of journalism in society. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm reading in the words of Dele Giwa as I wrote them. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow journalists and esteemed guests, I stand before you today as Dele Giwa, not only as Dele Giwa, but as a representative of the Fourth Estate, a profession that has the power to shape and shape the course of the nation. To shine a light in the darkness corners of society, to speak truth to power. Journalism is not just a job, it is a responsibility, a calling and a vocation that demands unwavering dedication to the pursuit of truth. In our pursuit of truth, we journalists often find ourselves at the crossroad of power and accountability. We are the watchdogs of society. We must hold those in authority accountable for their actions. We must question, investigate, and challenge the status quo, even when it is uncomfortable and unpopular. To do so, I've always believed that journalism is not just about reporting the news, it is about uncovering stories that others want to remain hidden. It's about giving a voice to the voiceless, exposing corruption, and championing the cause of justice. Journalism is a sacred truth between the journalist and the public, and we must never betray that trust. In my career, I have often been asked, what is the role of journalism in democracy? So that I say that journalism is the livelihood of democracy and the instrument through which people are informed, educated, and empowered to make informed decisions. Without a free and vibrant press, democracy withers and dies. But let me be clear, journalism is not without its risks and challenges. The pursuit of truth can be dangerous endeavor. Throughout history, journalists have faced threat, harassment, and even violence for daring to speak the truth. However, we must never be deterred by these challenges. We must be fearless in our pursuit for the truth and unwavering in our commitment to justice. In the age of information, the power of the press has grown exponentially. We now have the ability to reach a global audience in an instant. With the power comes great responsibility. We must use our platform to elevate important issues, to amplify the voices of the marginalized, to foster understanding and empathy among diverse communities. Let us not forget the importance of integrity in journalism. Our credibility is our most valuable asset. We must fact track, we must fact check, verify sources, and uphold the highest technical standard in our reporting. As journalists, we are not infallible, but we must always strive for accuracy and for fairness. In closing, I want you to have this thought. Journalism is not just a profession, it's a calling, it's a commitment to the truth and dedication to the public good and a tireless pursuit of justice. It is a responsibility that must be carried with honor and integrity, even in the face of adversity. Thank you, and may we continue to be champions of truth and guardians of democracy. So from the speech titled Unwavering Pursuit of Truth, a reflection on journalism by Dele Giwa, several lessons can be gained. The responsibility of journalism. Dele Giwa emphasized that journalism is not just a profession, but a responsibility. Journalists have a duty to society to uncover the truth. Hold those in power accountable and give a voice to the voiceless. Giwa's words encourage journalists to be fearless in their pursuit of the truth. Even in the face of adversity or threat, courageous reporting often uncovers important stories that can lead to positive change. Journalism is a pillar of democracy. Giwa underscores the crucial role of journalism in a democracy. A free and vibrant press is essential for informed citizenry. It serves as a check on government power, courage and fearlessness. The Legiwa words encourage journalists to be fearless in the pursuit of the truth, even in the face of adversity or threat. Courageous reporting often uncovers important stories that can cause a positive change. Integrity and credibility. The speech highlights the importance of maintaining the highest ethical standard in journalism. Fact-checking, source verification, adherence to principle of fairness and accuracy are essential for a journalist's credibility. The power of information. Giwa acknowledges that in the digital age, journalism has a good reach. The power must be used responsibly to shed light on important issues, amplify marginalized voices, and promote understanding among communities. Perseverance of journalism. Journalism often face risks and challenges in their work, but Giwa's word reminds us of the importance of staying committed to the profession despite their obstacles. Legacy and inspiration. Dele Giwa's own legacy as a journalist who paid the ultimate price for his dedication to truth, service as an inspiration for future generations of journalists. His commitment to journalism core principle is a lesson in its own. Call to actions from his message. We must support independent and quality journalism. In today's age of information overload, it is essential to seek and support reliable and independent journalism. Subscribe to reputable news outlets, support investigative reporting, and pay for quality journalism to ensure that journalists can continue their vital work. Demand accountability. As citizens, we must hold our leaders and institutions accountable. Actively participate in news story, question authority, and demand transparency as we've been doing for the past over 100 hours. Promote media literacy. Must educate yourself and others about media literacy, be discerning consumers of news, and teach critical thinking skills to spot misinformation and disinformation. Protect journalists. Journalists around the world continue to face threat and violence in their work. Support organizations and initiatives that protect the safety of journalists. Advocate for press freedom globally. Recognize the importance of diverse voice in the media. Encourage newsrooms to reflect the diversity of their communities. Seek out and promote stories that represent marginalized and unrepresented communities. Engage in constructive dialogue. Foster respectful and informed discussions in your communities and online spaces. Encourage civil discourse, empathy, and the willingness to listen to differing perspectives. Embrace digital media responsibly. In a digital age, be mindful of the information you share online. Avoid spreading unverifiable information or engaging in online harassment. Promote responsible online behavior and digital citizenship. Advocate for press freedom. Support organizations and initiatives that champion press freedom and the protection of journalists' rights. Encourage your government to uphold freedom of the press and protect whistleblowers. Mentor future journalists. If you are a journalist or have experience in the field, consider mentoring the next generation of journalists. Share your knowledge and help them uphold the principle of ethical and fearless reporting. Be an informed and active citizen. Stay engaged in the issues that matter to you and your communities. Attend public meetings, participate in civic activities, and use your voice to effect positive change. Incorporating these actions into our lives and advocating for responsible journalism ensures that Daily Giwa's legacy lives on in our commitment to truth, accountability, and justice in the modern era. So with that, we end our revisiting Daily Giwa's word. So we move to the next. Towards a circular and resourceful economy. Towards a circular and resourceful economy. This is by Babajide Sanwo-Olu. In this impassioned and urgent speech, the Speaker, Governor Babajide Akeredolu of Lagos State, addressed the critical challenges of our time: climate change and poverty, justice, equity, rights and values take center stage as fundamental principles that should guide our actions. Both as individuals and collectively as nations, the speech delves into profound importance of effectively managing the risk posed by climate change while simultaneously uplifting humanity from depths of poverty in all its dimensions. Throughout the discourse, Governor Sanwo-Olu compellingly argues that failure to address one challenge will inevitably lead to failure in addressing the other. The audience is called upon to recognize the gravity of the situation and take decisive and collaborative action to secure a sustainable future for generations to come. As we dive into the speech core, the urgency of the message becomes increasingly apparent, setting the stage for a transformative call to action. This speech is sourced from Vanguard. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you with great enthusiasm and optimism as we embark on a transformative journey towards a sustainable and resilient future of Lagos State and beyond. Yesterday we witnessed a historic moment as we conveyed the first cellular economy hotspot on the continent of Africa. I'm delighted to announce that Lagos State government will be partnering with the Netherlands on this groundbreaking initiative aimed at effectively tackling the environment, socio-economic impact in our mega cities activities. The concept of the circular economy is not merely an innovative idea, but a pathway to a more sustainable and prosperous future. In a world grappling with the challenges of climate change, resource depletion, and socio-economic inequalities, the circular economy offers a beacon of hope. Today, Lagos stands as the economic hub of Nigeria, and we have embarked the circular economy wholeheartedly. This initiative holds immense potential for Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa as a whole, creating a ripple effect that will transcend borders and positively impact the lives of millions. The circular economy is not just a theoretical concept, it is a practical and actionable approach that can transform the way we produce, consume, and regenerate resources. As the leader of this great state, I believe that the current socio-political climate compels us to reevaluate the resilience of our value chains, eliminate waste and pollution, and nurture a culture of responsible consumption and production. We must circulate products and materials at their highest value and regenerate nature to secure a sustainable future for generations to come. Teeming population of Lagos represents an incredible opportunity for this initiative to thrive. We envision the Lagos where every citizen is actively engaged and empowered to contribute to a circular and resourceful economy. This calls for a massive awareness campaign to sensitize our people and foster robust implementation. The timing of this conversation could not be more appropriate, as Nigeria faces critical conditions that necessitate optimum resource management for a sustainable economy. In realizing this vision, we recognize that the circular economy is not just an abstract idea, but a catalyst for job creation and economic growth by encouraging innovative production, ideas, and keeping materials in the lab for extended periods. We can generate more employment opportunities for our youth and build an even greater mega city. The Lagos Circular Economy Hotspot 2022 is not just of utmost importance for Lagos and Nigeria, but for the entire sub-Saharan Africa. Developing countries like ours have faced the worst impact of climate change despite contributing the least to global warming. It is time for us to take decisive action and ensure resources are reused to eliminate waste. To achieve this goal, my administration is fully committed to adopting principles of circular economy in all our policies and practices. We recognize that a shift from materialization to dematerialization is essential to alleviate the pressure on our limited resources. We are determined to be the forefront of compliances with Sustainable Development Goals 8, 9, and 12, which promotes inclusive growth and development of resilient infrastructure. The journey to a circular economy for Lagos began 3 years ago, and we have made significant progress through collaborative efforts and stakeholder engagement. We established a technical workshop on Circular Lagos to coordinate and facilitate the development of this initiative. Today, with the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with the Netherlands Circular Hotspot, we are taking a significant step towards accelerating implementation of policies that will promote a circular economy. But this journey is not the one that can be undertaken by government officials alone. It requires the active participation and commitment of all stakeholders, including businesses, civil society organizations, academia, and the citizens of Lagos. Only through collective action and collaboration can we achieve the ambitious goals set forth in the circular economy hotspot. As we move forward and we prioritize citizen engagement and partnership to drive sustainable socio-economic development, our administration is dedicated to supporting small and medium-sized enterprises in generating new wealth for the youth and creating more job opportunities. We will harness the potential of a circular economy to optimize resources, reduce waste, and build a future that is not only prosperous but also environmentally conscious. I urge all stakeholders, both public and private, to join hands with this noble cause. Let us work together to build a circular economy that leaves a lasting impact on the lives of our people and the future generations to come. Together, we can create a Lagos that is not only a beacon of prosperity, but a shining example of sustainable development for the world. Thank you, and may our collective effort lead us to a future of prosperity and environmental stewardship. Let us take the opportunity to grow, to sow the seed of a circular economy that will reap a bountiful harvest for generations to come. Let us be pioneers of change and the custodians of better tomorrow. Together we can turn waste into wealth and build a Lagos that is truly circular and resourceful. time for action is now, and I'm confident that with the support and commitment of all stakeholders, we will make the circular economy a reality in Lagos State and beyond. In the spirit of collaboration and innovation, I'm pleased to announce the launch of the Lagos Circular Economy Innovation Fund, which will provide financial support and resources to entrepreneurs, innovators, and organizations that are driving circular economy initiative in Nigeria. Through this fund, we will catalyze innovation, create jobs, and promote sustainable economic growth. On the private sector and the development partners to join us in contributing to this fund and investing in the future of Lagos. Let us take momentous steps towards the circular and resourceful economy. Let us remember the importance of education and awareness. Our citizens must be empowered with knowledge about the circular economy and its benefits. We will launch a comprehensive public awareness campaign to ensure that every resident of Lagos understands the role they play in circular economy. We will engage schools, community centers, and media outlets to disseminate information and foster culture of sustainability. The success of the circular economy hangs on the active participation of all sectors of society. Together we can create a future where waste is minimal, resources is conserved, and prosperity is shared by all. Let us embrace the transformative journey with open hearts and open minds. Let us be the change we wish to see in our city and our world. Lagos has always been a city of resilience and innovation, and now we have the opportunity to lead the way in sustainable development. In conclusion, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the African Circular Economy Network, Circular Economic Innovation Partnership, and the Netherlands Circular Hotspot for their invaluable partnership in making this circular economic hotspot a reality. I also extend my appreciation to all stakeholders, experts, and participants who have gathered here today. Your dedication and commitment to the circular economy are truly inspiring. Let us seize this moment and ambience the circular economy as a path to prosperous and sustainable future. Thank you, and may we forge ahead with determination and hope. From Bajide Sanwo-Olu. Lessons that we can learn from the speech: interconnected challenges. The speech emphasizes the interconnectedness of climate change and poverty. It underscores the fact that addressing one's issues requires consideration and action on the other. Urgency of action. The speech conveys a sense of urgency in addressing climate change and poverty. Sustainable economic growth. The speech promotes the concept of a circular economy wherein resources are reused and waste is minimized. This demonstrates the potential of sustainable economic growth by engaging citizens and businesses in responsible consumption and production pattern. Environmental stewardship. The speech underscores the need for responsible and environmental stewardship. It encourages the audiences to reevaluate the value chain, eliminate waste, and adopt practices that regenerate nature. Policy re-evaluation. The speech advocates for the evaluation of existing policies and adoption of the circular economy principles. It encourages policymakers to encourage innovative solutions that prioritize sustainability and climate resilience. Commitment to sustainable development goals. The speech reforms the commitment of achieving sustainable development goals, particularly 8, 9, and 12, which focus on inclusive growth, resilience, infrastructure, and sustainable consumption and production. As we navigate the challenges of the modern day, Governor Wade Sanwo-Olu's speech serves as a compelling call to action that resonates even more urgency now. Here are the key points that can take us to address climate change and poverty in the present. We must embrace circular economy. Government, businesses, and individuals should actively promote and embrace a principle of circular economy. Embrace circular economy. This entails adopting sustainable consumption and production patterns, reducing waste and reusing resources to their highest value. By doing so, we can create more resilient and resourceful economy that benefits both people and the planet. Collaborate and innovate. Collaborate and innovate. Climate change and poverty are complex issues that require collaboration and innovation. Government should foster partnership with organizations, NGOs, and citizens to collectively tackle challenges. Empower youth and SMEs. Must recognize the potential of youth and small and medium scale enterprises in driving sustainable economic growth. Provide support, resources, and opportunities for this growth. Must hold government accountable. Citizens must hold their government accountable for commitment to combat climate change and alleviate poverty. Advocate for policy change. Advocate for policy changes that prioritize sustainability, renewable energy, environmental friendly practices, and support legislation that incentivizes business and individuals to transition to a greener alternative. Prioritize long-term vision. Encourage leaders to prioritize long-term visions for sustainable development. Avoid short-sighted decisions. Avoid short-sighted decisions that prioritize immediate gains over the well-being of future generations. So with that, we come to the end of Babajide Sanwo-Olu's speech on circular economy. Striving for excellence. After darkness comes the glorious dawn. After darkness comes the glorious dawn. These are the words of President Bola Tinubu. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants of this ongoing marathon that has also come to an end, I present to you the text of a national broadcast by President Bola Tinubu addressing the current economic challenges faced by Nigeria. This speech, titled "After Darkness Comes the Glorious Dawn," is a comprehensive and candid address in which the President outlines the reasoning behind the economic policy he has undertaken to address the long-standing economic issues confronting the nation. The President emphasizes the need for transparency, equity, sustainable growth as he discusses the removal of 4 subsidies, currency exchange rate reforms, and various initiatives aimed at revitalizing the Nigerian economy. The speech underscores the challenges faced by the Nigerian people due to these policies measures, while also providing insights into the government's plans to alleviate these burdens and create a more prosperous future for all citizens. With a resolute commitment to the welfare of the people, Tinubu's speech outlines strategies for economic reform and reformation, serving to steer Nigerian people to a brighter future. Speech is sourced from Vanguard News Nigeria. Fellow citizens, I want to talk to you about our economy. It's important that you understand the reasons for the policy measures that have taken to combat the serious economic challenges this country has long faced. I'm not going to talk about in difficult terms by dwelling in economic jargon and concepts. I will talk in plain, clear language so that you all can know where I stand. Most importantly, so that you can see and hopefully we share my vision regarding the journey to a better and more productive economy for our beloved country. More importantly, so that you see and hopefully will share my vision regarding the journey to a better, more productive economy of our beloved country. For several years, I have constantly maintained the position that the fuel subsidy had to go. This once beneficial measure had outlived its usefulness. The subsidy cost us trillions of naira yearly. Such a vast sum of money would have been spent on public transportation, healthcare schools, housing, and even national security. Instead, it is being funded into the deep pockets and lavish bank accounts of selected group of individuals. This group had amused so much wealth and power that they became serious threat to the fairness of our economy and the integrity of our democratic governance. To be blunt, Nigeria could never become the society it intended to be as long as small, powerful, yet unelected group of people who hold enormous influence over our political economy and institutions that govern it. The aims of the few should never dominate, sway over the hopes and aspirations of the many. If we are to be a democracy and the people, not the power of money, must be surveyed. The presiding administration saw this looming danger as well. Indeed, it made no provision for the 2023 appropriation for subsidies after June this year. The removal of this once helpful device and transformed into a milestone around the country's neck has been inevitable. After the multiple exchange rate system has been established because nothing but a highway of currency speculations, it diverted money that should have been used to create jobs, build factories and businesses for millions of people. Our national wealth was due in favorable terms in a handful of people, and a handful of people had been made fitly rich simply by moving money from one hand to another. This too was extremely unfair. It also compounded the threat that the illicit and mass accumulation of money posed to the future and our democratic system and its economy. I had promised to reform the economy for the long-term good by fighting the major imbalances that had plagued our economy. Ending the subsidy and preferential exchange rates are key to this fight. The fight to define the faith and the future of our nation. Much is in the balance. Thus, the defects in our economy immensely profited in tiny elites, the elites they might call them. As we move to fight the flaws of the economy, people who grow rich from them predictably will fight back through every means necessary. Our economy is going through a tough part and we are being hurt by it. The cost of fuel had gone up, food and other prices have followed it, household and business struggle, things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship we face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were, I would have taken the route as I came here to help out and not hurt the people and the nation that I love. What I can offer is the immediate is to reduce the burden our current economic situation has imposed on all of us, especially on businesses. The working class are the most vulnerable among us. Already, the federal government is working closely with state and local governments to implement intervention that will cushion the effect of our people across socio-economic brackets. Earlier this month, I signed 4 executive orders in keeping with our electoral practice to address unfriendly fiscal policies and multiple taxes that are steering the business environment. This executive order has suspension and deferred commencement of some taxes. We provide the necessary buffers and headroom to businesses in the manufacturing sector to continue to strive and expand. to strengthen the manufacturing sector, increase its capacity to expand and create good paying jobs. We are going to spend 75 billion between July 2023 and March 2024. Our objective is to fund 75 enterprises with great potential to kickstart sustainable economic growth, accelerate structural transformation and improve productivity. Each of the 75 manufacturing enterprises will be able to access 1 billion credits at 9% per annum with a maximum of 60 months repayments for long-term loans and 12 months for working capital. Our administration recognizes the importance of micro, small and medium-sized entrepreneurs and the informal sector as drivers of growth. We are going to enhance this very important sector with 125 billion naira. Out of the sum, we will spend 50 billion on conditional grants and 1 million nano businesses between now and March 24. Our target is to give 50,000 each to 1,300 nano businesses owner in each of the 774 local governments across the country. Ultimately, this program will further drive financial inclusion by onboarding beneficiaries into the financial banking system. In like manner, we will fund 100,000 SMEs and startups with 75 billion. Under this scheme, each enterprise promoter will be able to get between 500,000 to 1 million at 9% per annum and a repayment period of 36 months. To further ensure the price of items remain affordable, we have had a multi-stakeholder engagement with various farm associations and operators in the agricultural value chain. In the short and immediate term, we will ensure stable foods are available and affordable. To this end, I have ordered the release of 200 metric tons of grains from strategic reserves to households across 36 and FCT to moderate prices. We are also providing 225,000 metric tons of fertilizers, seedlings, and other inputs to farmers who are committed to our food security agenda. Our plan to support cultivation of 50,000 hectares of farmlands and all year-round farming practice remain a course. To be specific, 200 billion out of the 50 billion approved by the National Assembly will be disbursed as follows. Our administration will invest 50 billion each to cultivate 150,000 hectares of rice and maize. 50 billion each will also be earmarked to cultivate 100,000 hectares of wheat and cassava. This expansive agricultural program will be implemented, targeting small This expansive agricultural program will be implemented targeting smallholders, farmers, and leveraging. This expansive agricultural program will be implemented targeting smallholder farmers and leveraging large-scale private sectors, players in the agribusinesses with strong performance record. In this regard, the expertise of the development finance institution, commercial bank, and microfinance banks will be tapped to develop a viable and an appropriate transaction structure for all stakeholders. Fellow Nigerians, I have made a solemn prayer to work for you. How to improve your welfare and living condition is paramount importance to me. It is this that keeps me up day and night, and it is in the light of this that I have approved the infrastructural support fund for the state. This infrastructural fund will enable states to intervene and invest in critical areas and bring relief to many of the pain points as well as revive our decaying healthcare and educational infrastructure. The fund will also bring involvement of rural health roads to ease evacuation of farm produce to market. With the fund, our states will become more competitive and on a stronger financial footing to building economic prosperity to Nigerians. Part of our program is to roll out buses across the state and local governments for mass transit at a much more affordable rate. We have made provision to invest 100 billion between now and March 24 to acquire 30,000 units of 20-seater CGN Ford buses. These buses will be shared to major transportation companies in the state using the intensity of this opportunity to salute many private employers in organized private sectors who are already implemented general salary review for employers. Fellow Nigerians, this period may be hard on us, and there is no doubt that it is tough on us, but I urge you all to look beyond the present temporary pains and aim at the larger picture, for our good and helpful plans are in the works. More importantly, I know that they will work. Sadly, there are some unavoidable lag between subsidy removal and these plans fully coming online. However, we are strictly closing the time gap, and I appeal to you to please have faith in our ability to deliver in our concern for your well-being. We will get out of this turbulence, and due to the measures we have taken, Nigeria will be better equipped and able to take advantage of the future that awaits her. In a little over 2 months, we have saved over 1 trillion naira that would have been squandered to the unproductive fuel subsidy, which only benefited smugglers and fraudsters. The money will now be used directly and more beneficiary to you and families. For example, we will fulfill our promise to make education more affordable and to provide loans to higher education students who may need them. No Nigerian students will have to abandon their education because of lack of money. Our commitment is to promote the greatest good for the greatest number of our people. On this principle, we shall never favor. We are also monitoring the effect of exchange rates and inflation in the gasoline prices. If and when necessary, we will intervene. I assure you, my fellow countrymen and women, that we are exiting the darkness and about to enter a new and glorious dawn. Now I must get back to work in order to make this vision come true. Thank you for listening, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is President Bola Tinubu's speech on Nigerians' current economic challenges, and it offers quite a number of lessons: transparency and accountability. The speech highlights the need for transparent economic reforms that prioritize the well-being of the majority. Empathy and communication. The speech acknowledges the hardship faced by the population due to economic reforms. The President's empathetic approach in addressing the concerns of the citizens demonstrates the importance of effective communication. Collaboration and partnership. The speech highlights the collaboration between the federal government, state and local government to implement interventions that alleviate economic burden. This underscores the significance of collaborative efforts between different levels of government to address national challenges effectively. Resilience and belief in progress. The President's optimism about Nigeria's future, despite current challenges, serves as a lesson in resilience. The speech encourages citizens to remain steadfast and have faith in the government's ability to deliver on its promises. Inclusive policies. The speech emphasizes policies that aim to benefit all segments of society, including farmers, entrepreneurs, workers, and students. This inclusivity reflects the importance of addressing the diverse needs of the population to promote equitable growth. Here are highlighted call to actions derived from the President's speech. Number one, inclusivity. The speech promotes policies that are inclusive and benefit all segments of society, aiming to reduce inequality and improve standard condition of the most vulnerable. Investment in vital sectors. Advocates for investments in critical sectors such as healthcare and education. Monitoring and response. Stay vigilant in monitoring economic trends such as exchange rates and inflation. And civic engagement. Engage actively in economic decision-making process, voicing concern and constructive feedback to ensure policies addresses the need of the people. So, inspirational leaders across the globe, we have highlighted and covered diverse of topics as we have visited almost every part of the world. We have discussed speeches from leaders from Nigeria and beyond. We have also made time in between these addresses to interact, whereby we had opportunity to ask questions and have been able to provide answers to them. Most of our questions have been based on the speeches read, the addresses, how we can apply them in our own society, as well as questions surrounding the theme of the event, Voices of Change, Inspiring Solutions for a Better World. So, in the next very few minutes, we'll be having the last wrap of the narrative section in this journey, in this speech marathon. So, if you want to be a part of this, sort of you to ask the last set of questions, can signify. Okay. Greetings, so. Do we have questions from?
If we have questions, let us ask.
From the address of people that we visited in the past, or on the topic, sorry, on the theme of the marathon.
My dearest brother, you've been doing very wonderfully well. I would love to ask you, what solutions do you think will end issues of drug abuse within the youth cycle? And what advice will it give to the government on how to implement solutions and suggestions from citizenaries of the country? And strategies of implementations, how the government could use the local communities in curbing the issue of drug abuse. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Do you have any other questions? Okay, let's address that. Drug abuse in our society has been is a problem that is one of the societal issues that's been faced by the youth. It's just that it's unfortunate that they do not see it as a problem. Now, it's the youth are the people that are perpetrating this, and to solve it, our approach should be first from external bodies. Alright, you want to stop someone from doing something that is addicted to, because to abuse drug, it has this there's this mental attachment that makes it result to abuse, and the mental attachment is a result of addiction. So the government has a role to play in this. Not only the government, civil societies, individuals that are compassionate like yourself. I know you've hosted a series of conferences addressing issues of drug abuse. So these are the things that are supposed to be. But the government, now sparing the roles of the government, the government has already institutionalized some agencies to take this role, to be responsible for this action, like the NDLA. I feel like the government should increase the effort of these agencies. These agencies already saddled with the responsibility, should do more. They already have roles that are already that they are supposed to play. There's always to ensure that the sales of these drugs are not good. The transaction of these drugs, there's always to stop transaction of these drugs. There's also to ensure that they are not entering into the country. The drugs that have been abused. The NDLA rules are it's so complete when it comes to combating drug abuse. But what the government can do now is to ensure that this agency they get the required effort, they require funding, they require logistics and whatever they need to carry out their duties responsibly. Therefore, the youth that are engaged in drug abuse, well, I'll just pass a message of advice that if whatever drug you are addicted to is not helping you, and the reality is that you will get to regret it later on. You definitely get to regret it later on. So, if it's possible to shun drug abuse, the best time to stop is now, and ensure that you go through a process of rehabilitation. You have to get a consultant, get an advisor to help you, and help you and face out that stage of the addiction. That is that on drug abuse. And I would like to also commend your role as an individual, and because I always see your effort to combat and to reduce drug abuse in our society. Any other question?
Good evening, everybody. My brother, I must commend you for doing this, for putting all the youth in the limelight. And also, I want to greet all the leaders and all the fellow comrades in the house. Thank you for supporting our brother. Thank you for rooting for him. I'm Retiran Akijole Akitayo by name. I say to Mr. Speaker on youth mobilization and affairs. I just want to ask about two things. The first one is about child abuse. So what do you think can be done when we travel past through the highways, we see minors hawking? So what do you think the government can look into in order to curb this child abuse? And the other one is trafficking as well. People traveling illegally. People traveling illegally. What do you think the government can also do to put end to this? There is a means whereby people can travel, and which is very legal, but we still have our people doing this through deserts, through illegal ways. So what do you think the government should look into, or how the government can come in order to stop this? Because most people involved are youths. Thank you very much.
Okay. Child abuse. The first and foremost, the breadth of most of all these evil vices or bad vices, such as this child abuse, example of underage hawking and all that, is poverty. Now, a family that is impoverished will look for all possible means to get food on the table, even if it requires all the children having to walk around the street. So And we all understand it. We all know it is a known fact that over 50, in fact, over 50% of the country is wallowing in poverty. So, if that is the condition, issues like this would still be prevalent. Even the issue of this illegal migration, I think, I will just leave it to human trafficking. I think we talked about it, whereby people are being deceived out of the country, and then they go through so many means of just to leave the country. It is as a result of poverty, because they think where they are going is a better pasture. Everyone wants a better living, and so they are trying to run away from the current situation we have in our country. So poverty has to be looked into by our government. The government must deliberately ensure that the economy is totally awakened. The economy of the situation of the country has to be visited, and poverty should be reduced to the barest minimum for us to reduce these two vices that you mentioned. Then for child abuse, parents also have a role to play. They should be educated. Most of these parents that engage in these activities of child abuse do not even know that they are abusing their child. Some of them feel like it's my pikin. I feel send her anything where I want. So they need to be educated. They need to be taught that to get to some stage before you can actually use your child to for activities like that, or your child does not have any responsibility to provide and bring food to your table as a parent. So the parent, there's a role of the parents to understand this. Some of them don't know. Literacy is another big problem we have to address in our country. We've talked about it all 5 days. The role that education play in any country. Before we can have the country we desire, the nation we desire, we need to address the issue of poverty and education, the quality of education that we have in the country. So a lot of people don't know the difference between their left or their right unless they use part of their body. I'm not just this, but I'm just trying to say that a lot of things can be solved. We would not have so many problems around us in this society if citizens are informed. The consciousness of the citizens must be reasoned to some extent, and the best way to achieve that is by proper education. So education is another way the parents should understand that their children have no right providing for them, being a source of their own means of livelihood, despite whatever economic situation their family might be. Then another way to the issue of the human trafficking too, illegal moving. The government too should secure the border as well, because you mentioned people. So there should be means whereby before you cross the border, your purpose of crossing the border is known, your destination is known. These are deliberate effort that the government has to put in place to address these issues.
The honest truth remains that our brother has tried for the past 5 days. This is beyond winning the Guinness World Record, because unlike so many records, this has to do with academic intellectualism. As a prospective ambassador for youth, because that is what I see you as today, not just for the Sunshine State, but you are regarded as an ambassador for youth among other ambassadors of youth all over the globe, because what you are doing is impacting knowledge to not just the young ones, but even some adults as well. I just want to ask a simple question. As a prospective ambassador for youth, one, what will be your first educational sensitization to the youth of
not just the Sunshine State, like I stated earlier, but so many youths across Nigeria. Let us limit that to the internal borders of our dear country. Secondly, what is that number one thing you would challenge the government of the day to look inwardly into in tackling the issues pervading youth in Nigeria? Let me just limit it to Nigeria, because you have to look at the challenges facing your own dear country before you create solutions to issues affecting other youths of the world. Thank you and God bless you.
Is there any other questions? Okay. In the course of these 5 days, it has been inspiring for not only people that have been coming, but for me, myself as an individual, as I have also joined in the revisiting of these speeches. Although I compiled them, I wrote down the lessons and call to actions, but reading them has afforded me more opportunity to enjoy in the words of these great people. And so, my first line of action or advocacy will be channeling of our effort towards climate action. We want to start advocating against climate change. We have noticed that in our country, as alarming as it is, we have not paid enough attention to this. So climate action is going to be our next line of advocacy, and we are going to ensure that our voices are being heard. Now, the second one, that's also a line of action, but because of the way you asked, you said to challenge. Not that we want to challenge the government, but we want to let them to understand that this is a problem that all of us have agreed to, we have seen as a problem, and they want them to see it as a problem alongside with us, is in education, and specifically the educational curriculum across all levels. There should be a total change and modification of the curriculum across levels. We want to tell the government that you cannot keep teaching people in the 21st century with curriculum of the 19th century. We are having unproductive graduates yearly because what they are being taught in school is no longer applicable in the society. This curriculum, this scheme of work is supposed to be reviewed yearly or regularly, but it's unfortunate that your lecturers will even tell you that it is what I was taught with, that I'm also teaching you with. So, and this is affecting our country. We always complain. We have electrical engineering students that don't know anything about fixing bulb. We have mechanical engineering students that cannot even fix a car. So we make these complaints all the time, but the root of the problem is what we have been taught in school. Is it what is applicable in society now? So we are going to be taking up that as an action that we want to speak up and ensure that our voices are being heard. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Do you have any more questions? Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, members of the press, and fellow ladies and gentlemen, today marks the culmination of an incredible journey as we stand here at the verge of completing this speech marathon. In the last 5 days, I have stood here to read speeches from inspirational leaders across all globes, across diverse topics. We've also had time to interact, time to educate ourselves, time to inspire ourselves on how to be better citizens whose voice can be heard. I can't but help but reflect on the challenges we have faced and the transformative experiences we have shared over 5 days. Our theme, Voices of Change, Inspiring Solutions for a Better World, has echoed through each speech, resonating with the hearts and minds of everyone involved. From the opening speech, which set the tone of our marathon, to the powerful words of leaders, we read a lot of them, like Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr. We have explored profound impacts that words have had on our world. These speeches have not only inspired us, but they have also reminded us of the responsibility we bear as speakers to ignite change and progress. I want to express my profound gratitude to everybody that has been a part of this. As I have read speech on this stage, your contribution has been nothing short of remarkable. The words we've shared in the past, the stories we've told before, and the wisdom they have imparted will continue to reverberate long after this event has been concluded. I want to acknowledge the incredible team that has joined me to work on this remarkable project. Their efforts have been very, very instrumental to the success. I would love to even mention their names. I have Shegun Sanusi, I have Isaiah, I have Sam, I have Glory, I have Exodus, I have Ishola Siba, I have Ayola Patricia, Daudu Shegun, I have Daniel Godwin, I have Blessing Ijoma, I have Gbemisola Bello Ezekiel, Ifeoluwa Davis, I have Olamide, I have Esther Williams, I have Olusa Victor. Your dedication and your hard work has been instrumental to our success. I also have Mimi. I would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to sponsors and partners, Dijavu Hotels, Fumi Ayeke Foundation, Yemi Fash News Media, Spa City, Earthmarks, Crest FM, People's Mind, Tagzin, Baby Secrets, Chefoni, Mr. Oni, Nigeria Insider, and special recognition and appreciation to our Honorable Minister of Interior, Honorable Bumitunji Ojo. Your support has been invaluable and we couldn't have achieved this without you. Your belief in our vision and your willing support has been instrumental in making this marathon a reality. We look forward to continuing this journey together as we inspire change and foster a better world. This 5-day marathon is ending, but we still have a lot to do together. We will continue to lend our voice to make change. We will continue to ensure that we inspire solutions for a better world. I would also like to thank every other invited persons that have joined us. I'd like to appreciate the Ondo State Commissioner of Finance that joined us. I'd like to appreciate the Ondo State Commissioner of Youth and Sport. He joined us more than 3 times in the course of the event. I'd like to appreciate the SS's Governor on Transportation, the SA to the Governor of Special Duties. I appreciate every government officials that have been a part of this journey. I appreciate the presence of NAS, NYCN. I also want to specially appreciate the OSY family, especially our coordinator elect who has been here for the 5-day event. I want to appreciate my secondary school principal and also especially I want to appreciate, I can't find her, she's here, my mom. She has also been here with us all through the marathon. Where is she? My mom. Thank you very much, Ra. You are indeed a mom. As I close this marathon, I'm prepared to celebrate this achievement with every one of your beautiful faces. And let us remember that the impact of our world does not end here. Like I said, it's a continuous journey. Each one of us have a role to play in shaping a better world. History has been made here in the Javu Hotels, Akure, Ondo State, Nigeria. We have not only set a World Guinness record here, but have planted the seeds of change and inspiration that will continue to grow. Our voices have power to shape a better world, and it is up to us to carry on that responsibility forward. Thank you all for being a part of this journey. Together, we have shown the world can indeed make a change. Thank you, and God bless. Stand up for the champion.
Please, we will also to everybody in the house to move down to the lounge. Live on the right. I'm celebrating my birthday today, and we are celebrating Tibu Olusa. Though I forgot my birthday today.